All right, I'm back. Welcome, folks. So today, a couple things to talk about before we get started. Um, Yesterday there was the BNR. Is it? No, Monday, not yesterday. Nothing happened. They said basically and yesterday they said on a stream, like a Play MTG stream or whatever, that their legacy specialist said that they should ban grief, and then they didn't for reasons that were not explained. Uh, so I'm disappointed. Uh, Basically, everybody's disappointed because we're really sick of this metagame. But we basically have a locked in metagame from now until August 20 something, when the next BNR is, where they have more or less said that they will take action unless something changes, which it is very unlikely to do, I think. The only thing that I could see changing is that there's maybe there could be something happening where like somebody builds a deck that's like half the scam shell but doesn't play grief and like wins mirrors or something, and then they ban something else because that deck's too good. Um, I don't know. It sucks, but I'm gonna do my best to try to, since we have this like locked in metagame, I'm going to figure out exactly how I want to build goblins for this metagame. The good thing is Necro has really died down. I haven't been playing that much, but I've been watching some and looking at results, and Necro just like is nowhere. So it seems Necro has burnt itself out at running into Force of Will and Force of Vigor. So hopefully it just like stays dead until somebody breaks it with like some new card. Um, so that means we get to open up the starboard pretty significantly. Uh, in its place, we've seen a rise in Cloudpost, which seems to have a decent scam matchup, and a rise in. It hasn't really broken out fully, but I would say Eldrazi Stompy is being figured out. And that deck looks pretty good. I played against it a couple times, and I've been reasonably impressed. Um, so I've put a couple Creator Makers in this deck. Creator Maker because of a Rise of Eldrazi, but also it's decent against Cloudpost because they play 4 Disruptor Flute that you want to be able to blow up on your Vial and stuff. It also kills, the Devoid 3/3, which is kind of nice sometimes. Uh, Strictly speaking, kills Emrakul and Ulamog, but that doesn't matter that much usually. The other thing is Stifle Knot is like annoyingly popular, and that matchup's pretty tough. But Creator Maker is really good against most of that deck because it kills the Devoid guy, the Null Drifter. It kills Dreadnought itself, and it kills probably most importantly Thrall, which bricks like half your deck. So Creator Maker is really good against that. Creator Maker is also good against Cephalids since it can kill either Nomads or Shuko, and it just like sits on the table and doesn't get like Orms chanted or whatever. It is a little expensive though. To help compensate with that, I got 2 Ancient Tombs. Like the more I thought about it, as Control kind of doesn't exist right now, Rashad Port wasn't doing that much, and also just the format's pretty fast, so it's like you don't have the time to port people. You have to develop the board quickly. So yeah, haven't been that impressed with port. It's like decent against Scaminator for sure. Especially with Frog, them getting jammed up on their mana base is like a good way to stop that from coming down before you can get out ahead of it. Got 3 War Marshals, 2 Battle Cries as like a core of like go wide stuff. A lot of enabler power with War Marshal. We're also down to 60 here, so we've got 2 Boggarts, 2 Ringleaders, 1 Muxus, so relatively slim top end. Only 2 Experts as well. Sideboard wise, been pretty more like a Pyrokinesis for a Dead Gone. Again, for Dreadnought decks, Cephalids, Pyrokinesis is good against both, obviously. You're a little worse against Stompy that way, but I don't think Moonstompy is very well positioned. I don't think Initiative is very well positioned. Against Eldrazi, Pyrokinesis is good, but sometimes Dead Gun's just going to be better because you just 1 mana kill the guy that makes Eldrazi spawn, which is like a really important card. So just actual shock is good. You don't really, if they just play that, you don't really want to Pyrokinesis it, but you also kind of have to. So just a cleaner answer that way. So I'm currently 2-0 in this league. I beat Red White Initiative and Mono Green Post last night. We'll see how the rest goes, and we'll probably play a little bit more than that. So I haven't played for a little bit of time because I've been playing the Elden Ring DLC. Just finished it the other day. Really enjoyed it. So I haven't played, like 9 days. I played a little bit on my other account, but took a little bit of a break because I was really hoping we would get bans. Alas, what a fool I was. All right. Sounds pretty good. This is like a turn 3 Muxus. That also just like functions quite well. Delta. Okay, feeling scammy. Kind of an awkward draw. I think I lead on Wasteland here. Yeah, definitely lead on Wasteland, because if I go Cavern, Vial, then this gets Forced or Dazed, and this gets Wastelanded, then I can't play Skirk on the following turn, so. Just resolved. Okay. Interesting. So I guess a Storm. Or Doomsday, maybe? With green? Tomb Vial? I don't see why I would want to play the Tomb. I guess you're playing around Daze. I don't really care if the Vial gets dazed. My hand's a lot of mana. What is this? Mill Dark Ritual Pass is really weird. Oh, I see. Yeah, okay. I guess this is the time to play Theater. Trawler. That's kind of an interesting one. It gives me a 3-drop to play next turn off Tomb. And it may offer Disruption, depending on what my opponent's deck is. I'll put it on top. wonder, it's just straight up ant. The fact they milled a Dark Control, the other didn't. Their hand is like all mana, and they just drew a payoff. Is kind of what this looks like. Multiple green sources. It's probably a Veil of Summers as protection then. Yeah. Ritual. Oh, it's Echo. Okay. I could put the Skirk in. Or I could try to get lucky and spin into Lackey. That's kind of tricky. That's like a close call, actually. Okay, we didn't get Lackey, but we got another Skirk, so. Alright, let's see if the wheel kills me. Probably does. It's Beseech. Yep. So Beseech can. Oh, actual. Holy shit, Infernal Tutor. This is like actual ant with Vexing Bauble. I guess the idea is you have Veil of Summer to. Okay. Interesting. We have a lot of good cards. Might even do Macabres. See how much we want to cut. Do have to remember to side down to 60. How come I don't like Leyline? Currently, it's good against Oops, but it's not good against Scam anymore because of Frog. And so I'd rather have like a lighter. I want a mulligan less, and I want a lighter graveyard hate package because it'll only incidentally matter. I can probably cut a land here. Just cut a trawler. And then maybe I don't need all three Macabres. Yeah, I mean, Ram. I guess I'm gonna keep this. It's not great. Grief has basically no bearing on the like non-blue decks are not getting propped up by the existence of Grief. That's a very silly thing to say. It is the best shell for Grief is a blue-black combo tempo deck that is extremely degenerate. Like, It's grief you twice and tomb reanimate, you know. It is silly to submit Mogwar Marshal Ice deck. Mogwar Marshal's Dark Ritual. You just don't understand. So do this. I could Surveil here, but I think I'll just play the War Marshal because the ping from Echo will deal some damage. Hey, Tim. So, Connor, my feeling with the reanimate thing or the leyline thing is like I used to be such a leyline like enthusiast against scam. Like I absolutely loved it. I would like mulligan to like 4 to find a leyline, and it would be good enough a large percentage of the time. But then they started playing 4 Brazen Borrowers, and then they started playing Frog, and it's just like really hard to get the leyline to do its thing. And sometimes you would lose games where like they would counter or discard Bombardiers and then kill me with my own Bombardiers. Didn't happen often, but it happened often enough that I was like, I dislike this. Opponent's casting a Veil for no reason. All right, let's see who's dead. Oh. What? Huh? Okay. I'm going to make them discard cards, I guess. Pyroblast? So if I attack with everything, they take 3, they block the lackey, they discard a card. It's kind of funny if this twin shot sniper was actually sudden shock. um You want to get into Legacies of Worth, but start buying Goblin pieces now. Should I wait to the Grief Man? I think slowly collecting it over time is a good way to approach things. Most of the cards are cheap, especially since Aether Vial's really cheap now. So it's like Cavern, and that's like the only expensive card other than the mana base, like the Badlands and stuff. So yeah, I'd say go for it. I think it's basically free to attack with the Goblin token. I might keep my Lackey. I think I'm going to keep my Lackey. I could also attack with the Pashlik. If they block, they pump again. They'll have 4 cards in hand. Twin shots another 2. So I can make them discard like all but 2 cards. It doesn't seem ideal though. I think I'm just going to attack with do I attack with the Pashlik or not? Yeah, Pash triggers another card and is very reasonable. I think I do. Okay, they let it through. Okay, so I'm just gonna play another War Marshal. So we can get Surveil here. So we're looking for Bombardiers would be good. Scar Prospector would probably win the game. Any, actual hate card. Holy shit, Abrupt Decay. That's incredible. Opponent's got a wacky deck. Matron. Yeah, I'll take that. What do I want with my Matron? Battlecry looks really good on this board. That's a good point, John, yeah. Because if I draw a land, then I can Battlecry activate, swing for 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 13, 14. So, yeah, draw a land and win the game seems like a good card to get. And if I don't draw a land, I can just do it next turn. Opponent will probably... Okay. Alright, I'm probably dead if they took the Macabre. Yeah. That Abrupt Decay, huh? I could have bottomed the Matron. To try to draw a hate card. But the only hate card that would have mattered is Chalice or Vexing Bauble. I guess a second Macabre would have been good. This can sack... this can't sack creatures. So, what's their plan? They can't bargain. Okay. They're trying to draw something off of Frog. Can't be a cantrip. Second Ritual does do it. Next turn, we're attacking for 5. Oh, yeah, discarding cards doesn't feed the graveyard because of Gaiaswell's active. Okay. Wow. That's kind of frustrating. They got very lucky with that sequence. Draw Brainstorm, hit LED. All right, cool. Kind of surprised they got out of that. Seemed like they went all in without realizing they didn't have it, and then they just kind of flipped their way out of it. I guess the frog drawing the card did the thing, but frog, I don't know. Frog and Storm. I mean, it bricked my offense a little bit, but don't think that mattered that much. Does just make Pyroblast better against you as well. Yeah, definitely. Like, I mean, Storm sideboarding into card advantage creature has been a thing for a long time. Yeah, Frog, I do think has a reasonable shot of getting banned. I'm more of a Frog skeptic than a lot of other people, but I think there's like a good shot. It's like too good. Don't really have anything to do with this lackey, so I'm gonna just Mountain Vial. That's your friend from college? Cool. This is beans. Beans are cephalids, right? Basically. Sting Scourger is pretty poor in those matchups. Has slightly more targets against beans, probably because of Triumph and Murktide sometimes being in those decks. Holy shit. Uro in hand. Okay. Coiling Oracle. I guess this is a Lurin. Ancient Tomb's pretty bad draw. I need to draw something, so I'm actually just gonna. It could cost me some damage, but I'll do this. Sling Gang. That's good. I'm regretting not leading on a Cavern. I did think about that. Maybe should have, because I have 2. Counterable Sling Gang next turn does not sound that good, but it is a strong card on this, like, just kind of generically. I do wish this Ancient Tomb was Rashadenport right now. Will say that. I think I gotta bottom the Sling Gang, which is not my favorite, but I'm looking for Matron. I'm looking for Broadside's pretty good. Battle Cry's quite good. Boggart's really good. mean, if I draw Muxus and there's no plow, I can technically bounce Coiling Oracle. Not that that's something you often want to do. But if it means getting Muxus into play, I'll do it. I guess I could have put the Sling Gang into play with Sting Scourge during the Coiling Oracle. I don't think that's good enough, though. There's Bombardier. Do I want to put a 5th card in the graveyard? Not really. But it's also the most efficient thing to do. I could just attack with Broadside. And then throw Mock War Marshal at the face. I'll just kill the Oracle, I guess. Don't want to overthink it too much. Not killing it plays around Fatal Push, I guess, but don't think my opponent's going to play Fatal Push here. Because if opponent escapes Uro next turn, we can Sting Scourger it. Get in with Lackey again, potentially. This is sort of a waste of 3 damage. Really only 2. Yeah, I'll just throw the front half. Awkwardly put in nothing with Lackey. Opponent probably been like, oh, I'm so dead. Not. Alright, so I want to draw a Matron, want to draw a Battle Cry, want to draw another Sling Gang would be pretty good. Trawler would be good. Another Bombardiers would be good. War Chief, Pashalik would be good. Ringleader would be great. Muxus would be great. Most of the deck is good. I do kind of wish I kept the Sling Gang, but because then I would have Sting Scourged the Oracle, put it in with Lackey, played War Marshal, sack it. So I'd have this board, but Bombardiers is a Sling Gang. I would sack the Sting Scourger to Sling Gang end of turn. Then draw Bombardier. I'd probably lose to the Uro then if I was using the Sting Scourger that early. Evil Baboon. Caracas. Okay, that doesn't cast Uro. We're 2-1 in this league. The stream thing is wrong because I started last night. So 2-1. Lost to a very strange ant deck. Black, white. Okay, Grist. Sure. Mill Green Sun Zenith. Alright, you got a Swords of Plowshares. All right, most spells are good here. Do I leave this? Nah. Okay, not the best spell. We're just kind of flooded out on mana production, huh? To play around Plow, I have to Sting Scourger this insect token. Just not ideal. Okay. So we attack like this and throw at the insect token. Getting in no damage kind of sucks, but Elden Ring DLC is really sick. I had a great time. Do wish I left the vial on too. Like as soon as I finished it, I opened up my other character and started moving towards and like entered the DLC with my second character on New Game Plus. So I've done a new game playthrough, and then now I'm doing a New Game Plus. Hey Jared, appreciate the sub, dude. All right, so this is definitely a port moment over Ancient Tomb. All right, I'm gonna F6 here. Still don't fully know what my opponent is doing. I mean, it kind of has to be a Lurin at this point. Okay, there's Uro mana. Let's look at a 21. And we Sting Scourger it. We're still really live to draw like anything. Wow. Okay. There's a Force of Will. You got it. I don't know why opponent's not playing Uro. I will leave file on 3. Man, we are flooding very badly. Like I could throw the vial there, but I want to keep Matron a killer draw. Because if I throw the vial, then I mean I can Matron for Ringleader at that point, so maybe I'm supposed to do that. Because I could have an extra 1/1 in play. These are really the moments where Sting Scourger sucks, though. If it has no targets, it is so bad. Okay. Alright, so I know my opponent's hand is Force of Will. Let's draw something good. Hey. Second broadside should finish the game. I'll put the Sting Scourger in to minimize cards drawn with Leovold. Okay. Alright, so green Zenith stuff. Coiling Oracle. I usually like Pyrokinesis against these kinds of decks. Leovold makes it a little dubious. We saw Grist, we saw Uro, Coiling Oracle. Don't need to board a Macabre for Uro because that's what Blocker Trawler's for. Cage has some appeal against Zenith plus Uro. It does cut off my Muxus. All right, Sting Scourger's cut. Let's see what we want to cut. Sting Scourger's going to come out. Creator Maker probably has some targets, but not a ton, so we can probably shave one. Shave a Lackey. Dead Gone might be good. I feel like Reb is going to be the best of the bunch. I think I do like the Cage, despite the Muxus non-bow. Like, I'm bricking one of my cards, and I can still turn it. It can still be a big Tarmogoyf. And I'm probably bricking like 6 of theirs. So it's like, do I want Dead Gone? Do I want Pyrokinesis? I think I want one Pyrokinesis on the draw. Because if it is a Lurin, Pyrokinesis can interrupt the combo. Opponent did not show a lot of answers to Lackey, to be completely honest. Shave a War Marshal, and maybe just got both Crater Makers. If there's like a Plague Engineer, that like kind of sucks. I guess I still have Twin Shot though. Cut a Vial? No, I don't want to cut a Vial against like a... Alright, well, here's a lot of Cyber cards. I'll keep this one lander. My opponent's answer to Vial is probably Collector Roof, which is another reason for Pyrokinesis being good. It's just like unlocks your whole thing. Tundra. We've not yet seen what the white's for. Nice. You don't really want to cut Vial against a deck that presents a lot of blockers. Probably plays some number of Wastelands, I would guess. It's like usually when people play Green Sun Uro decks, there's a Wasteland lurking. And they also don't seem to have that many Vial answers. Yeah, Hierarch is a good reason to Pyrokinesis as well. I'm gonna hold up Pyroblast here, even though it might fuck up my curve, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Now I can't Matron on 3, but I probably don't want to. So a Pyroblast, a Leovold, a Pyroblast. Not that much else, to be honest. Sure. Ooh, wow. This Grafdigger's Cage is really good. So notably, this can get Dryad Arbor, which we do have Wasteland for, so. I guess that sort of explains my opponent's lack of doing stuff last turns, or last games. They didn't have stuff on board. Yeah, okay. Wish I had sequenced my lands differently. Definitely a tap land moment. All right, so let's fetch Mountain. Or Badlands? Let's get Badlands. Play this. Battle Cry. I should have done this post-combat, because I kind of am interested in Pyrokinesising this. And then dropping the Matron, because I Pyrokinesis pitch Pashalik. Battlecry is good, though. I could pitch the Pyroblast. They have a Force of Will. I think they would have Force of Willed either the Vial or the Cage. So maybe I can just pitch. Yeah, okay. So let's put this on top. Kill this stuff. Pitch Pyro. We'll put in Pashlik. Okay, they're gonna plow. What's this? Sure. So matron, I don't think I want to do yet. I think I just put in Pashlik because what am I matroning for? Matroning for. I'd rather just keep the BCG on top of my deck, and then now I can just go. We play Vile, Wasteland them. Leovold would be a little annoying here. Okay. Draw tracks it and the natural order. No. All right. All right. So we know opponent's hand is very bad. So we'll play Battlecry. Not going to trade with the Coiling Oracle despite the natural order in hand because I have Grafter's Cage. So unless they have Force of Vigor here. I guess they could natural order for Grist. Is that how that works? I'm not sure, actually. Yeah, okay. Doesn't work. Right, Grist. Grist gets around Containment Priest, but not no, Grafter's Cage. That's a good draw. Opponent's looking for a plow, but not even a plow gets them out of it because they have to kill both of these. Kind of all three of these. There's a Field of the Dead in your deck. All right, that's outrageous. That is outrageously greedy. All right, let's finish the game. So even if they plow the battle cry, they take 10 and die. Yeah. In a game, I'm def losing to take actions like that to see if the rules work. The way I think they do. Yeah. Opponent did say like "oops" in chat, so. I saw somebody ask why didn't I just sit on the pyrokinesis. I didn't want to sit on it because of the possibility of a way to remove cage into, do something. So, and also, the other thing was with the wasteland. I wanted to use my wasteland that turn, but using the wasteland isn't actually very effective unless you also kill the hierarch. Yeah. Pulling up the list, Jared. I actually did the deck list command for once, but yes. This list it's a little light on action, so it has more air than I would like, because it's like a lot more cards. Like 3 Monk War Marshals and a War Chief is like a lot of cards that need cards to do stuff. One of these 7 mana source hands, but we keep these. Ew, X, yeah. Oh, Snap Force, okay. I am okay with that. So Force Pitch Ponder. War Marshal, you say. So it's Lackey Skirk or Lackey plus Hold Up Wasteland. Holding Up Wasteland has, like, on people's untapped fetch lands, has become more useful than it used to be because of the surveil lands. Like, denying surveil land is, like, kind of nice. So what could this be? This could be Stifle Knot. This could be Control. This could be Cephalids. Yeah, and Triomes is a good point. Let's see if opponent like dazes this. I'm actually fine with this getting dazed. So okay, resolved. Cool. Let's just play my stuff. So what I was just saying about the deck having kind of a lot of air. Okay, looks like this is Delver. Okay. No land. Oh, you're getting wastelanded. You are getting wastelanded. Ooh, Matron's a good draw. So this is the nice thing. It's like that 7 mana source hand worked out really well against. Oh, they drew a land. That's cheating. They draw a land plus creature. Black. Stalker. Okay. sort of an interesting question of do I play into Daze or not. They didn't. I gave him the opportunity to Daze Lackey, but they didn't. But that's obvious. Like they had a bolt, so makes sense not to. Seems kind of free to just play War Marshal and Surveil. Yeah. Because I don't think we can confirm no Daze. And I would like to just Surveil into another land. This also creates a very easy block for me on the Stalker. Alright, game's gonna kind of hinge on this brainstorm. If they find lands, they're in a reasonable spot. If they don't, they're pretty sad. So I'm looking for like Munitions Expert. I'm looking for potentially Twin Shot. Twin Shot's still probably going to be good because I can attack and then kill it when they block. Obviously, it would be better as a Jump Home Incinerator. All right, they found a fetch, so that's bad for me. Cavern of Souls, you say? Okay, so they didn't grow their guy. I guess they need to keep the card on top, huh? What do I want here? So I think opponent's reasonably likely to play a Murktide next turn. I can actually kill a 6/6 Murktide with a Munitions Expert, but it's not the best play necessarily. I could get a Boggart here. I could get a Ringleader here. Ringleader, Singang, Sting Scourger. Battlecry's a lot of damage. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. But if they play this, if they play a Murktide, then they can block Murktide on Battlecry, block this on a Matron. I get in for 9, but then I have nothing. Could preemptively get Sting Scourger, but that seems kind of bad. I kind of want more material. Opponent's got 3 cards in hand going on 4. I think I just get Ringleader. Because this just like has got to be Murktide, right? This gets punished the most by a Wasteland, but there's Murktide. Okay. It's a 7/7. Okay. So getting Expert would not have done the thing. Hmm. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, it's kind of tempting to attack. But then if they block with if they block with Murktide, they lose Murktide. So I'd be trading 2 1/1s for Murktide, which would obviously be great. If they don't block with Murktide, they just block with Stalker. They still take 4. I lose my Matron. Then I play Ringleader. Then I take 10. Yeah, and then I take 10. I play Ringleader. I'll have 5 guys in play. So if I find something off the ringleader that could be potentially good enough. They have used 2 bolts, so there is an argument that if I ringleader and then hit like almost anything, I can kill the Murktide next turn, like pretty assuredly. But that would involve not blocking the Stalker as well. So I take 10 again. I take 10 either way, rather. I do need to stay a pace in the race. So I think I do attack and play ringleader post combat. I do have Sting Scourger in my deck. Okay. Okay. All right. Don't like that, because that means brainstorm into Wasteland. And they just have Delirium again. Yeah. That's pretty bad. So what, Matron could have gotten Bombardiers to play around this? Okay. It's because dazed. Yeah. Sucks for me. So I have to keep track of. Oh my god, they drew 2 Wastelands. Oh my god. Alright, so getting Ringleader super backfired. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Do I quad block? They've used 2 bolts. Draw Lackey. Lackey would be good. Third bolt. Okay. All right. Opponent had absolutely nothing, and then, well, you go brainstorm to DRC and you draw the best possible every turn. That's how that card works. Yes. All right. Slightly frustrating loss because it felt like we couldn't lose, and then we lost. So yeah, I guess I just need to matron differently. I needed to matron. Battle Cry would have been probably the best thing for how that game played out. Opponent's probably not playing actual Delver. Crater Maker is not very good. Yeah, I'm just going to cut both Crater Makers. Oh, shit. I'm on 60. Nope. All right. I like this hand a lot. Ditch the Bombardiers here. I do think I must have thrown that game 1, because we were in such a good position. Maybe I just got too cute with the expert line. I don't know. So we would have taken a lot of damage, because they still would have gotten to go Brainstorm at a Wasteland. And the Ringleader would just hit Matron based on what my draws were. Sling's a good draw. Holy shit. I didn't pump because I just assumed they were going to bolt. Oi. Oh, they got a Stifle? No? Okay, I missed 2 damage. Feels bad, man. Missed 2 damage. Sure. Bluffing Pyroblast, yeah. Wow, a Braid. You do not see a Braid these days. Ooh, Boggart's good. Yeah, I'm just going to put Boggart into play and bam. Take a million. So they should be at 6. But I think they're dead either way. This card, when it's 0 mana, 4/1 haste, make a token, exile your graveyard, is very good. Okay. Humphrey Bogart Troller. Okay. So we saw Chalice. We saw Braid. Saw Frog. Saw Stalker. I need to cut to 60. I'm wondering about Chalice. Chalice is quite bad with Frog as the problem, because it shuts off your own Pyroblasts. But the fact they're playing Stifle makes Chalice a lot better. And I need to cut something. I think I'm on the draw. I think Chalice is going to be too slow anyway. What am I cutting? Could be a Lackey. Oh, could be an Ancient Tomb. Don't really... Well, I mean, 24 lands. You don't really want to draw Tomb ever. No. Yeah. Yeah, Tomb's really bad against Delver. I think this is probably the way. Yeah. You don't really want to draw one, and you never want to draw two, so... Alright. Hand's a little reliable, or reliant on Vial, which is not great on the draw. Stalker. Yeah. Okay. Alright, we get to lead on a fetch while they're tapped out. That's nice. Get a basic, also nice. Get dazed. No, not get dazed. Alright. Pyrokinesis would be sicko here. All right, here's the tough call. Do I wasteland now or in their upkeep? Because if I wasteland now, they could stifle it. I could Pyroblast the stifle, but I don't really want to do that. And if they have a daze, which they probably don't because they didn't daze the vial. The problem with waiting is it gives Stalactite Stalker a trigger. Granted, they can probably do that with virtually anything with DRC in play. Do I even wasteland at all? Is maybe the question. I'm worried about a Braid. If I just like do nothing, I could play Magor Marshall. That's maybe the best line, honestly. Seems like they haven't a Braid just because the Vial instantly resolved. If that is the case, then I should just not wasteland, because then that's like a really easy way to lose the game to any red source at any time. Okay. The fuck? What does this mean? Just works? They're pausing on the trigger, so I feel like they are very likely to have a stifle. Second DRC. That is a very good draw. Do I play around Fatal Push? The Stalker is sort of a problem, but it's Fatal Push and it's Hydroblast. They always kill the wrong Mog, yeah. So this is again, do I play around Stifle or... Well, Bolt is fine. For Stifle, I think because I can Pyroblast Stifle. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, it just worked. Yeah, Murktide, there's also there's no spells in the yard for Murktide as well. Nothing. File gets to 3. Draw Cavernous Souls. Okay. Do I even care about this thing? I think I do. Could have gotten Bombardiers there, but I didn't want to walk into another Bolt. Or into a Bolt, because it feels like Bolt is likely to be what they have. I play a 3/3 Murktide. Ponder. I'm just like so surprised that things have resolved. Okay, Delta. They have to kill my Vial or else they lose. Okay, I guess they lose. All right, don't care about... All right, so let's Ringleader off the Vial. If they stifle the Ringleader, then I'll Pyroblast back. Okay. Attack. They gotta start killing stuff. This is a Bowmaster? So they're at 8. So that's lethal. So they have a Hydroblast on my Goblin Matron right here. No, they could have Stifle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. All right, let's not lose to Stifle. Okay. Hey, we got the 4-1. So that game's sort of that's the power of uncontested Vial, right? Like if you stick Vial versus Delver, it just, and you use it every turn, it is just an insurmountable amount of mana advantage. All right, that's a solid 4-1. I like that. I like that. I think we could have gotten game 1 too if I was a little less greedy with the matroning for Ringleader there. I generally don't like matroning for Ringleader unless I against Delver unless I have like multiple land drops behind it. But we just knew that my opponent didn't have Wasteland, but then they just went DRC Brainstorm, which is just like so many looks at a 4 of that it happens. All right, I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick and then we'll play a couple more matches. Be right back, people. All right. So let's have a think about how those games went. We drew Mog War Marshal a lot. How was it? Did I feel good about having it as a 3 of? Creator Maker didn't really come up. It came up in the off-stream match against Cloudpost where My opponent had to flash in Flute to name it, which is sort of a win, sort of a not win. Sideboard felt pretty good. Against Storm, if we had drawn, like we boarded in 12 cards and we saw one of them, and if we'd seen any more of them, we could have won. Like I think literally any of them. Yeah, literally any of them. So I think that's fine. Sting Scourger was really bad that one game compared to like kind of anything else that would be in that slot, like a third expert, jump home, just any other removal. So like, what is Sting Scourger best against? In the other off-stream game, Sting Scourger was good. It was a functionally munitions expert because I bounced a Fable token, so I could connect with Lackey against Initiative. So sort of, lateral there. Sting Scourger is good against Frog because I think the play pattern that I try to create against Frog is like throw a high amount of damage-based removal at it. So whether that's through attacking and blocking, through broadside bombardiers, through expert, get them to sink some cards into it to make it like a 4/5 or a 5/6, and then you bounce it, and then they don't have cards to pump it again. And that kind of works. It's not the most reliable thing because that is somewhat resource intensive. The other option is just like Boggart Trawler their graveyard so that they can't give it flying, and then you can just like chump block with your million tokens. And that does work. It has worked for me so far. Yeah, this deck is a little light on gas. Yes, yeah. I did find this balance of 60. I don't love only having 2 trawler. I would prefer to have 3 trawler, but given that there's no ports, 26 lands felt like too many because like even if you're playing this as a spell, a lot of the time, the deck just kind of would flood out too often because port isn't the mana sink. But yeah, 23 plus 2 feels good. It's like I missed very few land drops. And then in one of the other off-stream games, I ringleadered into Boggart, which was my land drop for turn, which was really good. Like Lackey and Ringleader, draw Boggart, play it for turn was really good. Don't like Pash and Sniper. Pash was pretty decent this league. We've got 2 Sling Gangs, we've got 2 Skirks, we've got 3 Mogul Marshals. I feel like this is a pretty good Pash deck. Sniper, I think, is probably the weakest, but it is the fact that it's a flyer has come up, or that has reach rather, keeps coming up, and then it's one of the other clean answers to Doorkeeper Thrall, and it's also good against Cephalids because it's an uncounterable way to kill Illusionist that gets around all their other stuff. Jump Palm Incinerator does kind of work for that purpose though, so we could try Jump Palm in that slot. To Siege Gang Commander? I'm not playing Siege Gang Commander, I'm sorry. As sick as that card would be to play in 2024, I don't think... I think the definitely better 5-drop, if you want to play a 5-drop, is Kiki Jiki. Kiki's very red into... I mean, this deck does have 17 red sources, so you could maybe fit a Kiki Jiki in here, but I'm not sure how often it would actually be good. Like, especially compared to like a 3rd Ringleader, 4th Bombardiers, another expert. But let's try to add a bit more gas. Let's see if we can cut Sting Scourger, because I don't like Sting Scourger. I don't want to have to put it in my deck. So what would I... So it'd be 3rd Expert, 3rd Ringleader, 2nd Muxus. I think we need more interaction. Oop. So we could do this, and we could also cut Twin Shot for Gem Palm. That's like the cleanest thing. Gem Palm is pretty good with 3 Mogwai Marshals. Do we want to try Gem Palm? I haven't played Gem Palm in a while. That is like another way of getting more action in the deck. I'm not playing Sharpshooter. No chance. They ban Bowmaster plus End the Festivities plus Blazing Volley plus Fury plus... It's a lot of cards that it would take to make Sharpshooter good. I like the look of this deck list. It looks very clean. Snoop. I think I don't want more interaction more than I want more threats. What do you do with these all 2 drops hands? I'm going to try it. We can at least surveil on turn 1, so like we're at least doing something every single turn. And we can go like Crater, Expert, Battlecry, Activate maybe. It's like an okay curve. This will be a good stress test for how good or not good Crater Maker feels in a random matchup. Swamp? Okay, probably not good. Unless it's mono black. Okay, don't... I kind of want a 4th land, but don't want it right now. Pash looks okay. I'm going to hold the Battlecry. So I prefer to play it when I have the mana to activate it immediately. Nothing. Okay, I want my Scalding Tarn back. So now we'll play Battlecry. We'll get... Badlands or get... I think I get Mountain. Oh, it's Scam. Okay. Scam that kept a bad hand. Oh. No idea why the deck list thing is down now. So it's nice they pitched a Brainstorm. Let's see how they block here. We might be able to save our guy. All right, any land. Really wish I had kept my 4th land. Okay. File's pretty good. I'm gonna keep my expert back to throw to broadside. Okay. Okay. Opponent's flooding a little bit. Cavern. Okay. Which of these would I rather get dazed? I could also just play Crater Maker and sit tight. Dazing into Surveillance, like, kind of not great. Gives them some free value when they're not drawing very well. So maybe I do just attack and play another Crater Maker. Just let the Vial do the thing. Bad if they have a Borrower. Okay, so here's Surveil. Okay. Biggest issues we need to solve is the Goblins players. That's a good question. So it could be a hardcast Grief here, which I'd be fine with, given my hand is very redundant. Animate, dead, Battlecry Goblin. You got it. Hoping to draw a land here to play a 3-drop around a daze that they're very likely to have. Nice. Not wastelanding them. I think I'm playing Pashalik. Because that turns these Crater Makers into Arc Lightnings. If they force and have nothing. So if I attack... The thing is about attacking is that it seems to me very likely that they have reanimates and animate deads that just have no targets. So that's what's going on. So killing all their stuff isn't actually that appealing, but with the broadside in my hand, clearing off the board seems good. So if I attack both, and if they just blocked everything, then I sack one Creator Maker, kill. Yeah, I think I can attack you. This does mean they could Creator Maker my Vial. But now that I have a 4th land, it doesn't matter that much. Okay. Mm-hmm. You. Biggest issues when you solve Goblins players, I would say how exactly to approach this matchup is a good one. And we need to relearn how to play against Cephalids is another thing. Cool. All right. Pretty mediocre scam hand, we'll say. So I'll do 2 Macabres. We want the dead gone. So 7 cards? It's kind of a lot of cards. The main deck Bowmasters is a little strange. But we saw both reanimate and animate dead. So what does that mean? I definitely want the Pyroblast in the cage. That's for certain. I definitely want the dead gone. Do I want these Fairy Macabres? Can I even fit them in my deck? I cut the War Chief. 1 Expert. And just the other lackey. Only 26 Goblins for Ringleader isn't great, but there's only 2 Ringleaders, so. Still, it's like unclear to me how fair or unfair my opponent's deck is, so like. Alright, we've got 2 Vials. I mean, if we get Griff reanimated, we fucking die, but whatever. The only hands that look good after Grief plus Reanimate are ones that are all lands. Okay, we're getting to keep at least one vial. Alright, drawing another land is very important. Very, very, very important. This probably gets... Nope, doesn't get dazed. So as far as vial answers, there's usually a pile of Brazen Borrowers. There's like one EE in some of these lists. Yeah. Grief Pitch and Tomb. That's kind of huge. Maybe they have a second Entomb, though. Can't really beat 2 Entombs. Unless they don't have a Reanimate, I guess. Take Expert. That's weird. Sure. You had Entomb Reanimate, and you did that? Okay. You can try this plan. Ooh. I think I like Wastelanding. Okay, third vial is not. It's not it. I will not play the third vial because of I want to surveil and still have Pyroblast up. They didn't surveil. All right, I actually want another Wasteland because I don't want to get hardcast griefed. Cavern. I think I'm gonna bottom Cavern. With 3 vials, I really don't need more mana. Matron? Ooh, hello. Huh. I don't really want to kill the grief, but I kind of have to. And I will happily throw this vial. If they have Bowmasters here, it gets a little awkward. Depending on how they block, though, I think it might just be fine. Okay, let's kill the grief. Doesn't mean they could take my Sling Gang if they have another Reanimate, but I'm scared. The problem is if I leave it and they Reanimate my broadside, then it's like really bad. Because then I just take 1,000,000 damage. Okay. No hard cast Grief. All right, I think we're just winning this game. I think opponent just misread their role. If they just kept the reanimate, or kept the entomb rather, didn't reanimate the Grief. Maybe they didn't have another black card is the thing. Maybe should have left that on too. They do know my hand. Bowmasters. Okay. Target me. Okay. Uh, 10? If I fling Aether Vial at Bowmasters, they go to 10 and then 8. So I'm too short of lethal. I can fling the Vial on 4, actually. That might be better. So now if they reanimate broadside, okay, cool. Nice. Probably should have lost that game. With my opponent pitching Entomb there. I think I probably would have lost to Archon of Cruelties. Could have Pyroblasted an Atraxa. So if they take 7 off Atraxa and then it gets Pyroblasted, and then I have some pressure, maybe can beat the Atraxa. Archon, I think I would have just lost to. Which is often the case. I've raced Archon a couple of times, but it's hard. All right, let's go one more match for 5 matches today. It's really hard. It's always really hard because, like, if I had known my opponent was going to keep in the Entomb package, I would have boarded in all 3 Paramacobs. But given the main deck Bowmasters, I thought there was a possibility that they weren't even playing the Entomb package at all, because a lot of the newer scam lists, there's starting to be like a bifurcation of like people playing the fair and unfair versions again. But you usually see main deck Dothy Voidwalkers and stuff. But I don't know. I don't get cutting the Entomb package from Scam. That's like what made the deck good. Like Blueback Scam was like a fine deck, and then people are like, oh, you just play actual Reanimator shit, and that's really good. All right. This hand's really predicated on how good Munitions Expert is, huh? Again, we get to Surveil on turn 1. We do have a Cavern. I'm going to keep it. It is quite reactive. This hand's good against like Cephalids. We also get to bluff a little bit with Scalding Tarn to pass. It's good against Delver. You know, turn 1 DRC. Turn 1 Delver. Kill it uncounterably. Hand's not great against like Stompy or Control. Okay, looks like Delver. All right, got what we wanted. Opponent doesn't want to flip their Delvers, but okay. Mog is okay, is good in this matchup, but I would rather have more lands. All right, we've killed the Delver. WotC will never ban Grief. Feels like it. It's always Wasteland. All right. They either have Dazer Force or they don't. They do. Okay. Well, if we can resolve the broadside, we can kill the TRC. Bobble, or Ponder Shuffle, Bobble, Mill Volk. Cavern, 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 Cavern. I will take more lands. I'm okay drawing more lands. All right, Force of Will, Pitch Ponder. Keep it on top. Don't love to see it. Okay. This is a good Boggart Trawler moment. Ooh, that's better. Topping's probably a Bolt or a Murktide. Okay. Crater Man. Yeah, just get Boggart here, right? I could also, I don't have Sting Scourger. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Boggart's gonna be too slow if it's Murktide. What are my other options? Might just be the best option in general. I could get another broadside. Nah, it's Boggart. Because that also means if I want to, I can play my Sling Gang around a daze next turn. Do I kill the DRC? I could put them to 7. Nah, let's kill the DRC. I'll just keep my 3/1 in play. Bolt target me. If they go like Ponder into Bobble Bolt, I could die. Don't think I'm allowed to crack this fetch land. Mog's really good. Okay. Now I just play Sling Gang, right? If they flip the Delver to Bolt, I die. If I play Sling Gang instead of Crater Maker. That's awkward. I can't cast Murktide. So I think I play Battlecry, or I play Crater Maker, and if they flip the Delver, then I kill it. If they don't flip the Delver, then I can just sit. Okay. Battlecry's not lethal, so they obviously don't have Bolt because they would have flipped the Delver. So I could play Sling Gang, go to 3. Delver flips, then I have to sack a guy. If Delver flips to Bolt, then I have to sack everything but the Sling Gang. What's the downside of just playing Battlecry? And not Vile, because I want to hold up this and not crack my fetch. Okay. Whew. That was a scary one. I'm not completely sure that I played that perfectly, but Well, I know my opponent doesn't have counterspell because they would have flipped the Delver. Like, it has to be a creature or a land. Like, so it could be Murktide. It could be... They could be on the blacks. They could have black spells. Given... We saw basic island, though, so it could just be straight blue-red. So unless my opponent was like a psycho and like just like didn't flip the Delver, like drew Bolt but didn't flip Delver, so not give me the information to try to bait me into fetching, which is maybe the right play because of the Creator Maker on the table. It's like flipping the Delver doesn't matter as long as I hold the mana open. So maybe it's just like that would be an insanely smart play, honestly. I need to got 2 cards. This is so hard. Prospector, another lackey. I don't like cutting this many lackeys, but especially against blue-red. But I do want all these sideboard cards. Do you cut a Creator Maker? Creator Maker is a lot better against blue-red because it kills actual factual Delver. But maybe on the draw we'll just trim 1. Just have a leaner set of interaction. Oh, this is a Raucous Theater moment. I think I still just keep it and just lead on it and just play off curve all game. Kind of sucks, but surveil into a land and it's like fine. Oh, I kind of hate this hand now. I'm looking at it more. I'm gonna mulligan actually. This hand's kind of worse, but in like a very different way. Yeah, I mean, Theater's been a mix of good and bad, right? Oh no, actually, I'll keep it because I'll play it on turn 1. Okay, so it is black splash. Sling Gang. A little early for Sling Gang. If this is a frog, we're suddenly very screwed. Yeah, it's frog. Pyroblast? Trawler. Trawler's not bad. That's like a way to get around frog. Do I play around Wasteland? Kind of need this. I just need them to not have Wasteland, basically. Because it's not like I'm playing basics, so... Not Wasteland. Love to see it. Interesting. I will not block because, well, making them discard a card, they could just discard like a Force of Will that just got turned off by the Cavern. They signal that they have a Bolt. This feeds that. It's all very bad. Could maybe attacked first, and then if they brainstorm to get Delirium. Yeah, okay, no, I should have attacked first. I could have pulled more cards out of the graveyard for sure. Yeah. Put a card on top is probably Wasteland. Have to draw a Reb, basically. Yeah. Yeah, so I fucked up. I should have attacked. They would probably bolt my face. Small and collapse. Yeah. They'd probably bolt my face, turn on Channeler, block, and then I post combat Trawler. DRC dies. They have no cards in graveyard. We'll keep playing, but we're pretty dead here. Days. All right, so if we top deck our second Trawler, we can maybe stabilize. Oh, that's such a tease. Oh no, we're actually just on board. Okay. Okay. Yep, frogs makes sense. Do I want fourth lackey like this? That seems kind of reasonable. All right. This is going to put opponents to the test on their lackey answers. Eight Pyroblaster Frog, yeah. All right. We'll be trading with the Channeler. Theater's actually kind of nice. Matron. Yeah, I'll take Matron, I think. Yep. Here's Frog. All right, here's the game. Do you have a Do you have a Force of Will? Nope. What's the best way to lock this up? Trawler's pretty good. Broadside's good. Not if they have a Wasteland. Expert's okay. What can I do about another Frog? Broadside's like the best thing against another Frog. can play Murktide, but it's only a 4/4. Alright, I'm gonna get Broadside. And Matron for... Or just play Battlecry. I'm getting some lag here. If 6 cards in hand, there's a Wasteland. That sucks. And a Murktide, another Frog. That also sucks. They didn't have Force. Yeah, take Pyroblast Goblin, yeah. Oh, man. Play around days or not play around days. It's like pretty horrible for me if they have a days. Other option is play War Marshal or just activate Battlecry attack. The Black Lackey, they take 6. They discard a card. Tough call here. They have 4 cards in hand. Feels like days is pretty likely. But I was on the play. They may have shaved some dazes. I don't have any guarantee of drawing a land is the problem. Down on the clock too. No dazers in chat. Nice. Alright, they can sink their whole hand into this if they want. Oh, that's not even enough. Nice. What did we learn today, chat? Never play around days. Alright, so best draw here is land, so I can go War Marshal, Battlecry, activate. They need to kill this. They need to kill this. And Murktide. Only a 5/5. Can I kill him? Activate Battlecry. attack, make a token. Pyrokinesis, throw the token is 6. Uh, 7. Not lethal. If they block here, they lose the Murktide. Okay. Not the backseat, but if you had flung Mom in response to blocks, would that have been before damage resolves? Yeah, that's a good point actually. It's a good call. Opponent needs like Bolt plus Hydroblast here. Okay. Push you to 1. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Nice. Let's go. I've had some sick games versus Delver today. Like, really tight ones, but came out on top on both. That was really nice. I'll call the stream there. That was a really solid stream today. Really happy. Add some Grixis. So I did there was that. Oh, I was on my other account. I did have Grief Stoop Combo Goblins, Scamma Goblins. What did I forget? I had a good name for it, but I forget. It was not very good, but I did 3-2 sometimes. Yeah, so Grief didn't get the ban, but based on what Watsy said on the Play MTG stream, I think it's likely to happen in August unless something very significant changes. We also beat Scam twice, which was cool. Yeah, really happy, honestly, with how this list performed. Yeah, I think it's really unlikely that it survives past August. Frog could also be a problem, but I think Frog, compared to Dreadhorde Arcanist, there's like 2 big differences, right? It's like, one, it dies to Pyroblast. True, it doesn't die to Lightning Bolt, which is big. But Bolt isn't played that. There's like literally 1 Lightning Bolt deck in Legacy, so I don't think it's that big. There's way more Pyroblasts than there are Lightning Bolts. It's graveyard reliant in a different way from Arcanist. So like I found like Boggart Trawler a good card against Frog because you can like obviously in the game 2 there it didn't work out because the opponent had a DRC and they just like instantly refilled their graveyard. I could have sequenced better to play around that a little bit, and stuff like when you have Trawler off of Vial, Frog also does get hit or kind of mitigated by Pithing Needle, and also Mazavith is a big one. So I think overall it is tougher. It doesn't have the Arcanist problem where Arcanist would sometimes not have any targets. And so if you drew multiples, it wouldn't be good, whereas Frog's like insane in multiples. Because they just spiral out of control. So I think it's a bit of a toss-up there. But overall, I would say Frog is probably easier to answer. Exception to that being the Moonstompy decks are going to just get hard countered by Frog. I don't even know what you do to make Moonstompy not bad against Frog. Like, it makes Chalice bad. Trinisphere is okay against it. But, like, you know, if they just make a 6/7, what do you do? Like, if you don't have main deck Dead Gone, what do you do? You need to be, like, Fury plus Bombardiersing the Frog is, like, the only thing. So, really good against Moonstompy. Other things about it is the fact that it actually needs to connect means that other flyers are more relevant or creatures with reach. Whereas, and also, there's the other big thing is that compared to Arcanist isn't draw a card. Arcanist is cast, Brainstorm, Ponder, or Bolt for free. Draw and cast them. So it's like +1 card, but it's like a really good card because it's a cantrip, which are the best cards in the format. Or it's a Bolt, which let Bolt do things that Bolt could never do, which was like, back then it was like double Bolt your Reality Smasher, or not. I guess probably not Reality Smasher back then, but like Knight of the Reliquary. Whatever you want to say. So like big creatures were a way to beat it. Or on my side, it was always fucking Blazing Volley. Blazing Volley, Flashback Blazing Volley is build your own one-sided Pyroclasms, like so hard to beat. So I do think it's weaker than Arcanist. Is it still just the case that you can't let a Delver deck have any card advantage tools, or else the format breaks in half? Maybe. Maybe. It's also harder to cast, which is the thing. Do I think Frog replacing Bowmasters and Delver helps Goblins? I think I would rather see Bowmasters than Frog. It really depends, though, right? Because like in that game, if my opponent had Bowmasters instead of Frog, the Lackey wouldn't get to connect. The Lackey would just die. So it's like, if you have the answer to the Frog, it's like Bowmasters is really hard to profitably interact with. Frog isn't so difficult if you have the right answer, but if you don't have the answer, then it kind of spirals out of control. Whereas Bowmasters is just against Goblins doesn't really do anything. So, I'm gonna call it there. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to subscribe. If you're watching on Twitch, be sure to follow. I am going to keep streaming this list and lists like it in the coming weeks, and try to get a Cyborg Guide out for this metagame as it develops. So let's find somebody to raid. I would raid Bree, but she's pretty late into the Elden Ring DLC, and I don't want to spoil anybody. Elden Ring DLC, fucking awesome. Let's raid 90s. Haven't watched 90s in a while, but I'm sure Chris is still doing good stuff. All right. See you all next time.